Hi everyone, so today we're going to be adding mixed numbers. So if you know how to add fractions, then you know how to add mixed numbers. It's not super complicated, but we're going to go through a couple examples today so that you can make sure you do the activity that I have assigned. Alright, adding mixed numbers. We'll start with the example 1 1/5 plus 2 3/5. 1 1/5 plus 2 3/5. Okay, so we're just going to have three steps. First step is we're just going to forget about those whole numbers, and we're just going to add the fractions. Second step is we're going to forget about the fractions and add the whole numbers. And the third step is we're going to put them together. So we'll write that down over here. We'll add the fractions. We'll add the whole numbers. And then we'll put it all together. Okay. So I made the first one pretty easy because they already have common denominators. So that makes adding those fractions very simple. So if we do step 1, add the fractions, we got 1/5 plus 3/5. And you guys all know that that equals 4/5. Easy. Second, add the whole numbers. We got 1, we got 2. So 1 plus 2, go back a couple years, couple grades, look at this one. 1 plus 2, 3. I know, challenging step. And then the last step is to put it all together. So we got our 4/5, we got our 3, we're going to put it together, 3 and 4/5. And that's how you add mixed numbers. It does, however, sometimes get a little bit more complicated. So we're going to look at a couple more examples. Example 2 will be 1 1/3 plus 3 2/6. So one way it can get more complicated is if we have different denominators. But you guys know how to do that. We need to have common denominators in order to add fractions. So we can think of the multiples of 3. We can think of the multiples of 6. We should arrive pretty quickly at the idea that 6 should be our common denominator. This one already has a denominator of 6. Good to go. This one needs to have a denominator of 6. So let's make that happen. We got 1/3. We want an equivalent fraction with a denominator of 6. 3 times 2 is 6. So we're going to do 1 times 2. That will give us 2/6. So this fraction equals 2/6. We're going to add it to 2/6. This is step 1. Add the fractions. 2/6 plus 2/6 equals 4/6. Okay, step 2. Add the whole numbers. 1 plus 3. That's 4. All right, lastly, put it all together. 4 and 4/6. There's your answer. All right, now if you wanted to, you could put it in simplest form because we know that we can divide these both by 2 and get 2/3. So then we could get 4 and 2/3 as our simplified version. But those are both correct, they equal each other. All right, so that was slightly more complicated because we had to find this common denominator first. But then everything else was virtually the same as the first problem. However, it can have one more thing that can make it a little bit complicated. So we'll do one more example. And that will be 2 7/8 plus 4 2/8. Okay, so I made it simpler again in one way in that we have a common denominator. So don't worry about that for this one. That's already good to go. So we can just add those up. 7/8 plus 2/8. That gives us 9/8. Cool. All right. And then we're going to add the whole numbers. 2 and 4. 2 plus 4 equals 6. Now we're going to put it all together. But the problem with that is that we got 9/8 here. So we want to take our 9/8 and do what we were doing yesterday in class and make that improper fraction a mixed number. So you can, if you already know that 8/8 equals 1 whole, and so it's going to be 1 and there'd be 1/8 left over, then you can go ahead and write 1/8. But if you didn't think of that, you can always do the division. This is 9 divided by 8. So let's just do 9 divided by 8. 8 goes into 9 once. 1 times 8 is 8. You get a remainder of 1. And then remember, you go around, starting where your answer normally is in division at the top. You have 1 whole and 1/8. So this equals 1 and 1/8. So now when we put it all together, we have 1 and 1/8 and 6, which would be 7 and 1/8.